Thank you very much. Good morning to all. My name is Taminul Islam. I am from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Daffodil International University, Bangladesh. So this is the title of my work, a proposed Bi-LSTM method to fake news detection. My paper ID is 887. So this is the outline of our today's presentation. I will cover the introduction, problem statement, objectives, literature review, methodology, results, challenges and future work, and finally the conclusion. We know news is a very crucial part of our life, and we cannot ignore it. And nowadays online fake news detection is very important, as new news material is being created at a breakneck pace due to the amount of accessible technologies. And we also seen that many well-known organizations provides fake news to get extra advantage, maybe for their business purpose or any other purpose, which is really unethical. And we know there are some ways to find the fake news, and in order to detect fake news, both linguistic and non-linguistic cues can be analyzed using several methods. While many of these methods of detecting fake news are generally successful, but there are some limitations also. So in our literature review, we focused on that limitations, and this work proposed a fake news detection method that can identify true, partially false, and false news. And we know news is a very important thing for our life, because news is an authentic source of information. So if we face any fake news, then it is really dangerous for us, and fake news always destroy your trust. Not only your trust, it can destroy your trust on that particular website, on that particular company also. So we always expect to get more correct news and true news, right? So when you get any fake news, it must hurt you. So these are the problem statement. So these are the objectives of this work: to identify fake or true news from different websites, to find a best machine learning model to detect fake news, to find the best approach of fake news detection, to create a fresh data set of news, to understand the current approaches of fake news detection. So this slide shows the data ratio. So we have collected data from various websites, and we have collected several kinds of newses like sports news, political news, business news, and many other newses from different international websites. You can see in this table we have collected newses from CNN, Fox News, The Guardian, American News, BVA News, the Boston Tribune, Fox News 24.com. So we have collected total 2,977 data. So all the data have collected manually by our researchers. So this picture shows the data ratio. The data was collected into three categories: true, partially false, and false, where we collected 1,712 data, true data, where false contains 856 and partially false contains 406 data. You can see the number of the data in the histogram also. So this is one of the most important slide of this presentation, because this slide shows the how we classified true, partially false, and false, right? So this table proposed by Balaus Jahi, where we called true news where the given text includes contents that are clearly apparent or capable of being logically proved. We called those newses are partially false, where main claim in given text might be true but also contain false or misleading information. So not surely true and not certainly false. And we called those news as false where the main context of given text is fake. So this slide shows the steps of our methodology. After creating data, we did the data pre-processing, and then we went for the preparing our model. Then we send our data to the training data and for the testing data, and finally we predict the news, and we got the evaluation through the accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. So in the right picture, you can see a simple flow chart of this work. You can consider it as a reference of the methodology of this work. So in the data pre-processing, this you can see in the right picture the steps of data processing: data cleaning, data integration, data transformation, data reduction. Then we went for the data discretization, and we did here removing punctuation, capitalization, lemmatization, removing stop words. So we split our dataset into two to begin the modeling process. First of all, the training dataset, and another one is testing dataset, and we send our 80% of data for the training and 20% data for the testing. And this model is trained with 20 epochs and 128 batch sizes of training data, and we applied bi-directional long short-term memory, which is abbreviated as Bi-LSTM, to predict the result. So we know Bi-LSTM about Bi-LSTM. So it is compared to long short-term memory. Bi-LSTM is superior in sequence categorization, and the Bi-LSTM is made up to 2 LSTMs, one for forward input and another one for backward input. And using hidden states, it is possible to exchange data in both direction. And on every time step, 2 LSTMs output are combined to from one. And Bi-LSTM approach helps to reduce the limitation of standard RNN, standard recurrent neural network, and the context is better understood because to Bi-LSTM's high level of accuracy. So these are the performance measurement unit. We used here 4 units. You can see here accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. So these are the equation, the mathematical equation, how we calculate the accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. And here TP states the true positive, FP states the false positive, T and true negative, and F and false negative. So in the result section, in our model we assumed true as 2 in our coding actually. So where false is considered as 0 and partially false is considered as 1 for determining the identification of the news, because we know the RNN model cannot operate with text. That's why we have to had to convert it to number. And in order to train our model, we applied 20 epochs. We already told about this, and we obtained an accuracy of 84% and F1 macro score of 62%. In the picture, in the table and picture, you can see the accuracy report and F1 scores here. So no need to elaborate these pictures. So this slide shows the accuracy report. We used the methodology which is Bi-LSTM, and we got the accuracy 84% and F1 macro score 62%. So we know this is not a good accuracy, but in future we will try to increase this accuracy, and this is one of the drawback, you can say the limitation of this work, because we used a true data set, genuine data set. We all the data have collected manually by our researchers, and there are many noises in our data, and that's why we didn't find the more accuracy above the 90% or above the 95%. So we will work on this accuracy in future, inshallah. And in the graph, you can see the 2 graphs here, accuracy versus evaluation accuracy, and another one is data loss versus evaluation loss. So this is the conclusion slide of this presentation. A Bi-LSTM model for identifying fake news was suggested in this study. Filter techniques were utilized to remove unnecessary attributes from our dataset in order to speed up the training process, and this model has an overall accuracy rate of 84% and F1 macro score of 62.0. and there are a few issues that need to be addressed. We can improve accuracy and performance by combining Bi-LSTM with CNN. So this is another future work I includes here, and we will work with the more balanced dataset in future. This is another future work. So there are a lot of there are many future plans with this project further to do. So we faced some challenges during this work. We faced some challenges to collecting quality data, I mean the noiseless data. Then we faced some challenges with data pre-processing, but we did it well, successfully, finally. And data purification and source authentication was the another challenging part of this work, and finally the getting accuracy above 80%. So that's all from my side. If you have any question, then please ask me.
Ma'am, you can ask.
Okay, Taminul, you have done one nice presentation. The thing is that this method is by LSTM method. This
Yes,
is your method, proposed method.
correct.
Can you name any other method?
There are a lot of methods, like
Like,
we can use by any other machine language, uh, like decision tree or random forest, or we can use any other deep learning also, and we can use like logistic regression also. We can use that also, but we used Bi-LSTM here because Bi-LSTM have a good accuracy level, and we reviewed a lot of we reviewed almost 25 literature review papers, and we found that Bi-LSTM works really well detecting fake news detection. That's why we used this.
okay, okay. So that I think that comparative study that must be there in the slide part also. So how this method is better than the other method.
Yeah.
That is one thing. And result analysis, I found one thing, there is a partial detection. One is true, another one is false, third one is the partial. What do you mean by that one, partial?
Ma'am, just a minute. Mm,
Go to that result analysis. Yeah,
okay.
third one.
Yes, ma'am. We detect the true news based on the keywords, and based on this table where we called what is true news, and where we called what is partially false, and what is this table shows the what we called what is false news. So where the information is not surely true and not certainly false, we called there partially false. And this table proposed by Balojai and his collaborators, and many detection papers, I found this type of categorization.
Is there any percentage of knowing this much percentage for partial? 20%, 50%?
Yes, ma'am. In this histogram you can see here, we found 1712 data from true, and partially false is 406, and false is 856. So this is, you can see, the most of the newses stands for the true newses, and the second place takes the false newses, and in the third place it takes the partially false newses.
Okay. From where you have collected this data?
We have collected data from different international websites from CNN, Fox News. These are the references.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.